In Mexico, political tension is rising as the country faces a dangerous conspiracy that could destroy its government. A powerful drug lord named Armando Berrio secretly plans to assassinate the president of Mexico and take control during a time of unrest. To make this happen, he forms an alliance with a corrupt Mexican army general, Emiliano Marquez, promising him power once the president is eliminated. Meanwhile, a mysterious and morally flexible CIA officer named Sheldon Jeffrey Sands begins manipulating events from behind the scenes. Rather than simply stopping the coup, Sands wants to control the outcome so that no single criminal force becomes too powerful. To execute his strategy, he searches for a man whose name has become legendary across Mexico, El Mariachi, a guitar-carrying gunslinger feared by criminals everywhere. Years earlier, El Mariachi tried to leave his violent life behind. He dreamed of peace with his wife Carolina and their young daughter. During a past confrontation, Mariachi and Carolina wounded General Marquez in a shootout. Carolina had once been connected to Marquez, but she chose Mariachi instead and even shot the general to save her husband. Marquez survived, however, and his revenge was merciless. He later ambushed Mariachi's family, killing both Carolina and their child. The tragedy broke Mariachi's heart and turned him into a wandering warrior driven by grief and quiet rage. Knowing this history, Sands approaches Mariachi and recruits him to kill Marquez. At first, Mariachi has no desire to return to bloodshed, but the chance for revenge is impossible to ignore. Sands even tests Mariachi's abilities by sending assassins after him in a church, proving that the gunslinger has lost none of his deadly skill. Sands does not rely on Mariachi alone. He convinces retired FBI agent Jorge Ramirez to come back into action. Ramirez has his own painful past with Berrio, who murdered his partner after torturing him for days. For Ramirez, this mission is about justice as much as it is about stopping a criminal empire. At the same time, Sands assigns an operative named Ahedras to follow Berrio's movements. Unknown to many, she has a hidden connection that will later shock everyone involved. While tracking the cartel, Ramirez meets Billy Chambers, an American fugitive living under Berrio's protection. Chambers has grown tired of committing horrible acts for the drug lord and wants a way out. Ramirez promises him protection in exchange for help getting closer to Berrio. Together, they attach a hidden microphone to Chambers' tiny chihuahua so they can secretly listen to the cartel's plans. Back on Mariachi's trail, Sands hires a man named coup to watch him. But coup betrays Sands, tranquilizes Mariachi, and hands him over to Berrio while offering to reveal the CIA agent's entire plan. The betrayal doesn't last long. Coup is killed on Berrio's orders, and Mariachi manages to escape captivity. Realizing he cannot fight this war alone, he calls upon his trusted companions Lorenzo and Fideo, fellow guitar-carrying gunmen who are just as lethal as he is. Meanwhile, Berrio prepares an elaborate deception. He uses a body double and undergoes facial reconstruction surgery so that enemies will not know his true identity. When Ramirez investigates a hospital where Berrio is rumored to be, he finds several doctors murdered and a corpse that appears to be the drug lord. Soon he realizes the dead man is only a double, but before he can escape, he is knocked unconscious and captured by the real Berrio. It is then revealed that Ahedras is actually Berrio's daughter, secretly working with him. With Ramirez imprisoned and the plot moving forward, Sands finally understands that his carefully constructed operation is falling apart. Before he can react, Berrio and Ahedras capture him and brutally drill out his eyes, leaving him blind. Despite this horrific injury, Sands refuses to die quietly. Using his sharp hearing and the help of a street boy, he manages to locate and shoot a hitman who was sent after him. Even without sight, he remains dangerous. The day of the coup arrives during the vibrant celebration of the Day of the Dead in the city of Culiacan. Crowds fill the streets while the president visits the city, unaware of how close he is to death. Marquez and his soldiers launch a sudden assault on the presidential palace, determined to kill the leader and seize power. Sands had originally instructed Mariachi to wait until after the president was killed before taking revenge on Marquez. But when Mariachi observes the president and senses that he is a good man who truly cares about his country, he refuses to follow those orders. Instead, Mariachi, Lorenzo, and Fideo step in to defend the palace alongside the president's guards and even ordinary citizens who rise up against the attackers. Gunfire erupts across the city as chaos spreads. In the middle of the battle, Marquez storms into the palace, confident that victory is near. But inside, he comes face to face with the one man he never wanted to see again, El Mariachi. Their confrontation is swift and brutal. Mariachi shoots Marquez in the kneecaps, dropping the general to the floor, helpless. Then, remembering his murdered family, Mariachi ends the general's life with a final shot to the head. Elsewhere, Ramirez is freed from captivity by Chambers and goes after Barrio. The drug lord kills Chambers during the clash, but Ramirez is soon joined by Mariachi. Together, they finally bring down Barrio, ending the cartel leader's reign of terror. Outside the palace, the wounded but determined Sands encounters a Hadras. She attempts to kill him, thinking his blindness makes him easy prey. Instead, Sands surprises her with a hidden weapon and shoots her dead, proving that even without his sight he is still lethal. With the coup crushed, Lorenzo and Fideo take the money Barrio had intended to use to pay Marquez and help escort the president to safety. Ramirez, having avenged his partner, finally walks away from the life of vengeance that haunted him for years. As for El Mariachi, he returns to his homeland with his share of the money but keeps none of it for himself. Instead, he gives it to his village, remembering that all he ever truly wanted was peace, something that once seemed like a simple dream but proved to be the hardest thing to obtain. After ensuring his people are cared for, the lone gunslinger walks away into the distance, a quiet legend disappearing once more into the vast landscape of Mexico.